Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
It's Saturday the 28th of December. I'm Jamie East, and on today's episode we're looking back at the biggest stories from July and August of 2024. We saw the country get a new government, the far-right rioting, Donald Trump face an assassination attempt, and Team GB stack up the medals at the Olympics in Paris.
Grab a cup of something hot, put up your feet, and get up to speed on the 7 biggest stories of the week. This is the Standout 7 from the Smart 7.
It's news,
but not the news.
Oh my God. That was the sound of the Sky News team seeing the first election exit poll on the night of Thursday the 4th of July, as it showed Labour with a projected 410 seats against a possible 131 for Rishi Sunak. As the night played out, it became clear that Labour had won a historic majority, with Labour's Bridget Phillipson the first MP to win a seat. Then, just after 5 a.m, Labour became the new ruling party of the United Kingdom with 412 seats. Labour leader and soon-to-be Prime Minister Keir Starmer spoke from a reception in the Tate Modern.
We did it! You campaigned for it, you fought for it, you voted for it, and now it has arrived. Change begins now.
Now, former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak managed to hold on to his seat in Richmond and Northallerton, but he admitted that the Tories lost the election and that he called Sir Keir Starmer to concede.
The British people have delivered a sobering verdict tonight. There is much to learn and reflect on, and I take responsibility for the loss. To the many good, hard-working Conservative candidates who lost tonight, I am sorry.
Counting continued across the morning, and some big-name Tories, including James Cleverly, Jeremy Hunt and Kemi Badenoch, retained their seats, while former Prime Minister Liz Truss made history as she lost hers. And altogether, more than 10 Tory cabinet ministers lost their seats, including Grant Shapps, Penny Mordaunt and former Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg. After 8 attempts, Nigel Farage finally won a seat as an MP in Clacton, but despite the exit polling suggesting Reform might win as many as 13 seats, they in fact only won 4. But Nigel was promising an aggressive opposition style.
It's not just disappointment with the Conservative Party. There is a massive gap on the centre-right of British politics, and my job is to fill it. We're coming for Labour, be in no doubt about that.
Lib Dem leader Sir Ed Davey had a good night too, with his party benefiting from tactical voting, and they won 71 seats.
Now, I don't know if you could tell, but I've rather enjoyed this campaign. But what I've loved most hasn't been the paddleboarding or the bungee jumping. It's been speaking to people here in Kingston and Surbiton and across the United Kingdom about the challenges they face and their hopes for the future.
Sunak returned to Downing Street to address the nation from the podium, although at least it wasn't raining this time. He again apologised to the nation and accepted responsibility for the election loss.
I have given this job my all, but you have sent a clear signal that the government of the United Kingdom must change, and yours is the only judgment that matters. I have heard your anger, your disappointment, and I take responsibility for this loss.
The new government's honeymoon period didn't last long, as August brought serious public unrest and rioting in Southport, sparked by what Merseyside police described as a frenzied knife attack at a dance class at a primary school in Hart Street. 3 children died in the incident, which Prime Minister Keir Starmer described as horrendous and deeply shocking, and he praised the swift response of emergency services as the events unfolded. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper spoke in Parliament.
All of our thoughts will be with the family and loved ones of those who are affected. I have been in contact with the Merseyside Police and Crime Commissioner to convey our thanks to the police and emergency services for their swift and courageous response.
Taylor Swift also posted her condolences and sympathies after the incident, which took place at a Swift-themed dance and yoga class. There was a vigil but also public unrest as what appeared to be a far-right protest outside a mosque escalated, with at least 22 police officers injured and a police van set on fire. It was partly because misinformation and disinformation about the attacker had been spreading online, and Merseyside Police and Crime Commissioner Emily Spurrell urged people not to get sucked into online speculation.
There's still a lot to be figured out. It's obviously a complicated investigation, so they will have to take the time now to figure out what's happened, why it happened, and obviously I would encourage everybody to give them the space to do that and not to speculate about why or how this might have happened.
The protest spread to Downing Street, and that led to clashes with police and chants of Save Our Kids, with trouble also spreading to Manchester and Hartlepool and across the country as the weekend approached. And that was the sound of anti-immigrant protesters throwing bricks at riot police in Sunderland. By the following Monday, police had made over 100 arrests, which saw 4 police officers hospitalised and buildings and vehicles set on fire. There were counter-protests calling for calm, and among them was RMT union boss Mick Lynch, who spoke at an anti-racism rally in Belfast.
We fought them in the 30s, we fought them in the 70s in Britain. We will not allow the right wing to dominate our working class communities, and we will come together every week in every town.
Keir Starmer spoke out to condemn the growing violence. The Labour leader, who headed up the Crown Prosecution Service during the 2011 London riots, warned people about the consequences of their actions.
Those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online.
There were more riots and police injuries in Belfast, Darlington and Plymouth, with almost 400 people being arrested. The government moved swiftly, including creating what they called a standing army of specialist officers who were to be deployed to hotspots, while other officers continued to comb through social media footage to identify instigators. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said there was no question of the violence being seen as a genuine protest.
Reasonable people who have all those sorts of views and concerns do not pick up bricks and throw them at the police. So all those who are involved in that kind of violent thuggery, that is extremist activity. This is a thuggish minority of criminals. They do not speak for our communities.
Take a look at what happened.
There was chaos in the US on the evening of Saturday the 13th of July after former President Donald Trump was shot in the ear during an attempted assassination at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. One spectator was killed and 2 others critically injured in the shooting. The gunman, who was shot dead at the scene, was named as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, a registered Republican who lived and worked nearby in Bethel Park. Trump thanked law enforcement for their quick response in a Truth Social post, while current President Biden condemned the violence in a live broadcast from the Oval Office that Sunday night.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this.
And Republican pollster Frank Luntz said the incident will be likely to bring a few more voters to the polls.
This is going to have an impact not on who people support, but on their likelihood of getting out and actually participating. I think you're going to see a 1 or 2% addition to Donald Trump's vote, particularly in the state that this happened, which is a critical swing state.
While Trump was making the most of the momentum from the assassination attempt, Democrats had struggled after the first TV debate when it became clear Joe Biden wasn't connecting with voters. Polling showed that 65% of Democrats thought the 81-year-old Biden should withdraw from the race. Pressure built for almost 2 weeks as the president isolated with COVID, but finally on Wednesday, July the 24th, he made a long-awaited return to the media spotlight. He said he believed his record as president deserved a second term, but he understands the priority is beating Donald Trump, and so he stepped aside.
Nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation.
His abdication saw Vice President Kamala Harris effectively become the nominee and sparked new excitement among Democrats who raised over $130 million from 1.4 million donors and saw a wave of voter registration and volunteers join her campaign. The first polling, gathered since Biden announced he was passing the torch to Kamala, started to show significant momentum for the VP, and she dropped her first ad featuring music from Beyoncé.
There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom.
That was quickly followed by an official endorsement from Barack and Michelle Obama.
This is going to be historic.
We call to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me.
In early August, Ukraine caught the world off guard with a cross-border attack into Russia's southwestern Kursk region. It led to Russia declaring a federal-level emergency in the region, while the UN nuclear agency issued a warning as fighting approached the Kursk nuclear power plant. Zelensky acknowledged the incursion on the 11th of August and said he was proud of his troops' efforts.
I thank every unit of our defense forces that makes this happen. Ukraine is proving that it really knows how to restore justice and guarantees exactly the kind of pressure that is needed. Pressure on the aggressor.
A few days later, Ukrainian forces were claiming control of up to 1,000 square kilometres of Russian territory. Russian President Putin continued to assure his population that the Ukraine invasion will be quickly dealt with, but there was little sign of a coordinated Russian pushback. With no sense of irony, Putin said his Ukrainian attack puts any peace talks in jeopardy.
Apparently, the enemy seeks to improve its negotiating positions in the future. But what kind of negotiations can we even talk about with people who indiscriminately conduct strikes at civilians and civilian infrastructure, or try to create threats to nuclear power facilities?
Zelensky said that Kursk will be Putin's catastrophe, a reference to events 24 years ago when a Russian nuclear sub, the Kursk, sank 3 months into Putin's leadership. Ukrainian MP Andrei Osachuk said Russia doesn't know how to respond.
We confused Russians and they really did not expect that we will be so brave to attack them. And it's another signal for everyone in this world that, in fact, Russia is not prepared for any attack from any side.
Still to come on the Standout 7, Team GB stacks up the golds in Paris and Alec Baldwin has a rough time in court. Right after this.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Welcome back.
The Paris Olympics took place from the end of July through to early August and saw Team GB stacking up the medals. The very first set went to Yasmin Harper and Scarlett Mew-Jensen, who won bronze in the women's synchronised 3-metre springboard.
This means everything to us. It's everything we've worked towards for the past year, and even before that, now to be stood here with the medal just feels incredible, and I feel really proud of us.
We've worked really hard and it's been really tough and it's not been smooth sailing, so yeah, no, we're really, really happy.
Arguably one of Paris Games' most amazing golds came in mountain biking, where defending Olympic champion Tom Plulduck managed to overcome a puncher and a 40-second gap from the leader to win gold. He was understandably emotional as he celebrated the achievement.
You know, the Olympics is so special and you give everything, and that's what I had to do. I can't thank everyone enough, you know. Even out the tour with COVID, and then, you know, everyone around me, we just trained perfectly for this, and yeah.
On Thursday the 1st of August, though, one of Team GB's legends bowed out without a medal. Andy Murray and Dan Evans were in quarter-final doubles action against the US duo of Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul, with Andy chasing a final Olympic medal. It wasn't to be, though, and despite a valiant fight back, the British pair lost in straight sets. Murray was in a reflective mood as he reached the end of his professional tennis career.
Yeah, I'm proud of my career. I worked really, really hard to achieve the results that I did, in a really difficult time, you know, to win the major titles. You know, I gave it a good go. How my body sort of finished shows that, you know, put my body through a lot training-wise, and obviously on the match court as well. Looking forward to a rest now.
The Paris Games saw Novak Djokovic, the man with 24 Grand Slam wins, finally achieve a goal that had always eluded him. The 37-year-old Serb picked up his first Olympic gold after beating Carlos Alcaraz in straight sets to become the Olympic champion in the men's singles at Roland Garros. It marked just the second medal for Serbia at the Olympic Games, following another gold in the shooting the previous week. Speaking after the match, Djokovic said it was a tough battle.
Incredible battle, incredible fight. I mean, honestly, when the last shot
went through him, past him. That was the only moment I actually thought I can win the match.
The Games also saw an unexpected win for Team GB in an event that's brand new to the Olympics. It was kite surfing, and Britain's Ellie Aldridge won 2 races in the final series, which was enough to secure the first ever kite surfing gold. Ellie was delighted.
It's been incredible. We haven't had the easiest conditions, it's been really tricky, but it's really cool. I hope everyone watches it on TV and thinks the same thing. So happy to be part of it.
When Team GB returned from Paris, they brought with them a haul of 65 Olympic medals, one more than they won in Tokyo, which saw the UK ending up at 7th in the overall table. One man who's contributed more than his fair share over the years is diver and passionate knitter Tom Daly. He's picked up an astonishing 5 medals over 5 games, but after Paris, he said it's finally time to hang up the Speedos.
It's really hard to talk about, but it's, I have to hang it up at some time, so I'm really happy with how everything's gone. It's always hard when you say goodbye. Lots of things to process, but I think it's the right time.
The COVID inquiry issued its first report on Thursday the 18th of July. The 217-page document said the UK government and those of the devolved nations failed their citizens. Baroness Hallett chaired the inquiry, and it was the first of 9 reports that will look at all aspects of the pandemic, which is estimated to have resulted in almost 250,000 deaths. She says the government prepared for the wrong kind of pandemic.
The UK was ill prepared for dealing with a pandemic. The processes, planning and policy failed the citizens of all 4 nations. There were serious errors on the part of the state and serious flaws in our civil emergency systems.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer offered his sympathies to the bereaved and pledged that his government will learn the lessons from the inquiry and act swiftly to improve systems. Naomi Fulop from the COVID-19 Bereaved Families for Justice group says the lack of mass testing and PPE contributed to the failure and that the new health secretary needs to move quickly.
We are calling for Wes Streeting in his first 100 days to conduct a cross-government audit of preparedness for the next pandemic, which, as we've all said, is inevitable.
The case against Alec Baldwin fell apart in spectacular fashion in mid-July after new evidence came to light and one special prosecutor found herself on the witness stand. The actor was facing involuntary manslaughter charges and potentially an 18-month prison sentence for the death of cinematographer Halnia Hutchins on the set of the film Rust. But he walked away a free man after it was found police and prosecution deliberately withheld evidence on the source of the live round thought to have killed Halnia. Judge Mary Marlowe Sommer dismissed the case after a dramatic week which saw one special prosecutor resign and walk out of court and another, Carrie Morrissey, call herself to the witness stand for her role in withholding evidence. Safe to say, Carrie wasn't Baldwin's biggest fan.
The truth of this matter is you don't like Mr. Baldwin very much, do you?
That is absolutely untrue.
You told one of the witnesses who disagreed with you during an interview that you thought Mr. Baldwin was a sucker.
I do not recall saying that.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
When you're part of a military family, you understand sacrifice and support. So at American Public University, we honor your dedication by extending our military tuition savings to your extended family. Parents, spouses, legal partners, siblings, and dependents all qualify for APU's preferred military rate of just $250 per credit hour for undergraduate and master's level programs. American Public University. Value for the whole family. Learn more at apu.apus.edu/military.